We are going to build the entire history of ancient Rome, from its mythical founding to its epic collapse, right here in Minecraft. Grab your pickaxe and your gladius, because we are about to journey back in time, block by block. Our story begins in 753 BC, on the banks of the Tiber River. Legend tells us of twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, raised by a she-wolf. Imagine this scene, a pixelated wolf nursing two tiny blocky babies. After a fierce argument over which hill to build their new city on, Romulus tragically strikes down Remus. And so, on the Palatine Hill, a new city is born, named after its founder, Rome. In our world, we'll lay down the first cobblestone blocks, representing the humble huts of this early settlement. It's small, just a village, but these few blocks are the foundation of what will become the greatest empire the world has ever seen. For the next 250 years, Rome was ruled by kings. We'll build a small, simple throne room with a single wooden throne to represent this era. But the Romans grew tired of monarchy. In 509 BC, they kicked out their last king, Tarquin the Proud, and declared a new form of government, the Republic. Residential publica, the public thing. This was a game changer. Power was now shared between two elected consuls and the powerful Senate. We'll construct a magnificent Senate house, the Curia, with rows of quartz stairs for the senator seats. This building symbolizes the new heart of Roman power, a place of debate, law, and ambition. The Republic was hungry. It wasn't content to stay a small city-state. This is the era of expansion. We'll start by building legionary barracks. Each one will have rows of beds, armor stands decked out in iron gear, and chests full of swords. These represent the disciplined legions that marched out to conquer the Italian peninsula. We'll show this expansion by replacing green wool blocks representing unconquered land with red wool, signifying Roman control, spreading out from our central city block by block. But Rome's greatest challenge was just across the sea. The city of Carthage, a powerful naval empire in North Africa, stood in its way. This rivalry sparked the Punic Wars, a series of 3 epic conflicts. For the First Punic War, we'll build a fleet of blocky warships, the Roman triremes, battling Carthaginian vessels on a blue wool sea. The Second Punic War brings us one of history's greatest generals, Hannibal. Imagine this, a massive Minecraft elephant, built from grey wool and logs, leading an army of pixelated soldiers over the snow-capped blocks of the Alps. It was a daring, almost impossible move that brought Rome to its knees. But Rome never gave up. Under the generalship of Scipio Africanus, they pushed Hannibal back to Africa and defeated him at the Battle of Zama. To mark this victory, we'll place a Roman banner block on the shores of our Minecraft North Africa. Carthage was finally destroyed in the Third Punic War, leaving Rome as the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. With vast new territories came immense wealth, but also immense problems. The gap between the rich and the poor widened. This social tension gave rise to figures like the Gracchi brothers, who tried to pass land reforms for the poor. We'll represent this turmoil by setting up a chaotic marketplace scene with villagers running around, some in diamond armor, others in simple leather, showing the Great Divide. This instability paved the way for powerful generals to take control, using their loyal armies to seize power in Rome. This leads us to the man who would change Rome forever, Gaius Julius Caesar. We'll craft a player skin for Caesar, complete with a laurel wreath made of green stained glass. We see him leading his legions in Gaul, conquering territory after territory. We'll show this by rapidly replacing the green wool of Gaul with Roman red. His fame and power grew so immense that the Senate feared him. They ordered him to disband his army. Caesar's response? He led his legion across the Rubicon River, a small stream we'll build with water blocks. Crossing it was an act of civil war. The phrase crossing the Rubicon was born, meaning a point of no return. After a series of swift victories, Caesar returned to Rome not as a general, but as its master. He was declared dictator for life. We'll show him standing triumphantly in our Senate house. But his ambition was his undoing. On the Ides of March, 44 BC, a group of senators, fearing he would become a king, assassinated him. We'll show our Caesar player model falling at the base of a statue, surrounded by other players holding iron swords. Caesar's death didn't restore the Republic. Instead, it triggered another bloody civil war. Out of the chaos, Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, emerged victorious. He was clever. He knew Romans hated the title of king. So, he called himself princeps, or first citizen. But make no mistake, he held all the power. In 27 BC, the Senate granted him the title Augustus, the revered one. This moment marks the official end of the Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. We'll tear down the old wooden throne and build a magnificent imperial one made of gold blocks and quartz, symbolizing this new era of absolute rule. The reign of Augustus ushered in the Pax Romana, 200 years of relative peace and prosperity. This was the golden age of Rome. We'll get to building. We'll construct the Colosseum, a massive oval of sandstone blocks, its interior filled with sand for gladiatorial combat. We'll build towering aqueducts, elegant structures of stone brick that carry water blocks for miles into our city. We'll pave the roads with stone slabs, creating the famous Roman roads that connected the vast empire. We'll build temples with gleaming quartz pillars, bathhouses, and sprawling villas for the wealthy. Our Minecraft Rome will transform from a simple town into a breathtaking metropolis, the glittering capital of the world. The empire stretched from the misty hills of Britain, where we'll build a section of Hadrian's Wall, to the deserts of Mesopotamia. Red wool will cover most of our map. But no empire lasts forever. By the 3rd century AD, the cracks began to show. A period of crisis hit, with constant civil wars, economic collapse, and barbarian invasions. We'll represent this by setting fires around our city, breaking down parts of the walls, and having zombie hordes spawn just outside the borders. Emperor Diocletian tried to solve the problem by splitting the empire into 2 halves, east and west, each with its own ruler. We'll build a massive wall right down the middle of our empire map, dividing it in 2. Later, Emperor Constantine would move the capital from Rome to a new city he named Constantinople, in the wealthier eastern half. We'll construct a new, even more magnificent city on the eastern side of our map, leaving our old Minecraft Rome looking a bit neglected. Constantine also legalized Christianity, a faith that had grown from a small sect to a major religion, and will build our first blocky church. The Western Roman Empire was in a state of terminal decline. Its economy was shattered, its armies were filled with barbarian mercenaries, and it faced relentless pressure on its borders. Hordes of tribes like the Goths and the Vandals poured across the frontiers. We'll show this with wave after wave of zombie and skeleton player models, breaking through our weakened Minecraft walls. They sacked the city of Rome itself multiple times. Our beautiful city will be shown in ruins, with blocks missing and fires everywhere. The final blow came in 476 AD. The last Western Roman emperor, a young boy ironically named Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. There was no epic battle, no dramatic final stand. The empire just ended. Odoacer didn't even bother to take the title of emperor. We'll show our final emperor player model, just a child, dropping his iron crown on the floor of the ruined throne room and walking away. The red wool of the Western Empire slowly gets replaced by different colors, representing the new barbarian kingdoms that would rise from its ashes. The Eastern Roman Empire, which we call the Byzantine Empire, would survive for another 1,000 years. But the story of ancient Rome, the story that began with 2 brothers and a wolf, was over. And there you have it. Over 1,000 years of history, from a tiny village to a world-spanning empire, all built and told in the world of Minecraft. It's a powerful reminder that even the mightiest structures can eventually crumble to dust, or in our case, back to individual blocks. Thanks so much for watching this epic journey through time. If you enjoyed this build and this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more historical builds. Let me know in the comments what